Ever since I stopped watching YouTube, I stopped buying unnecessary gear. It turns out the cure for gear acquisition syndrome was there all along. I just had to stop feeding the desire. But here's the thing, it wasn't just gear. This may come as a surprise, but when it comes to watching other creators' work in general, I don't like to do it. Sure, I watch movies every now and then, and I'll get sucked into a TV show, but when it comes to this commercial filmmaking thing, I try to avoid it. YouTube and gear obsession, they go hand in hand. It's the perfect recipe for falling down a rabbit hole. One new light, one new lens, one new thing promises to make you a better filmmaker.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Watching other people's professional work, it does the same thing. Only this time, that rabbit hole is much deeper and much darker. When I first started this production company, nearly a decade ago, I would obsess over other creators' work. I would dream that one day I could make something like that. Something that made the audience cry, made them laugh, or open their wallet because the video actually worked.
Shut up and take my money.
Now I look at those videos and I think I can make that. But then a pitch goes unselected and I'm back on the sidelines again, depressed, thinking, why not me? That's when the spiral starts again. Except this time, the rabbit hole is not lined with lights or lenses, it's lined with someone else's work. Their biggest projects, their awards, everything they are most proud of. And for me, it's everything I begin to resent. A room of comparison. Sometimes in those moments, I'm the dreamer again, desperate to be good enough to be chosen. Other times, I'm the critic, questioning what did the client see in their work that they did not see in mine?
What's wrong with you people?
That's when I know something's off. Pride or depression. Honestly, I can't really say what's worse. When I started my company, I anchored it in a quote from Steve Jobs, a quote that I wanted to live by and work by, and a quote that I wanted my team to live by and work by. And that was,
stay hungry, stay foolish.
in the beginning, it was easy. You had to be hungry and you had to be foolish enough to believe that you could actually survive and that you would actually be successful. The thing that no one tells you is that even after you've had that taste of success,
Don't you want a little taste of the glory?
you must remain hungry and you must remain foolish. You've got to be hungry enough to go after it again and again and believe that the next one is the one. Because the moment you stop, you become comfortable, and comfort becomes complacency. And complacency is the enemy of growth. It's a silent thief. It doesn't kick down your door. It sneaks in just when you've said, this is enough. And just like that, it starts robbing you of everything you've worked for. How do we strike the balance between avoiding other people's professional work because of our own mental health and needing to study it so that we can grow? For me, it's all about perspective. We've got to look at other creators' professional work through the proper lens. Analytical, not emotional. What decisions did they make on the day? What worked? What failed? What last-minute changes did they make to save this video in the edit? What can I learn? What can I respect? Because at the end of the day, avoiding other creators' professional work altogether is not the answer.
It's a answer.
We should look at things and we should analyze them, because it's only going to make us better at our craft. This is a big reason I love Corridor Digital's VFX Artist React.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artist React.
While reaction content seems like a low lift, the reaction and then analysis as a filmmaker or a VFX artist is actually something that I find very beneficial, because you're reverse engineering what had to be done in order to accomplish what's on screen. We just have to look at the work with the right eyes. I've been thinking a lot about looking at other people's work. For a long time, I've been ignoring other people's creative works because honestly, it gets me a little bit depressed. I fall down this spiral of like, dude, why not me? It's a room of comparison, and I don't want to be in that. I think we need to look at work critically and analytically and like learn from it. What can we see that they did in their production that we could possibly do? And how can we elevate? How can we get better? I have pulled this video here. This is from Jazzwares. This is a Builder Squishmallows mashup. Right off the bat here, what I really like is the set design. I don't know what they did here, but I'm gonna guess just based on the vibrant colors that this was a constructed set in a studio. One thing I do really love about their lighting was they went for shears over the windows and then they lit through the windows. So it gives you this overall nice little cinematic look. And then they obviously have a key light coming in from this side, some practicals, give a little bit of a warm hair there. This is like motivated by that. Overall, very nice looking set. The art is something I wanted to call out.
Yeah.
If we look at the branding of the Squishmallows logo, they're using the same colors in here as the Squishmallow logo.
Yeah.
As creators, when we're building out sets, we need to think about these things. We need to think about every little detail. So much relies on that set design and wardrobe. Everyone puts video and audio at the top, but set design and wardrobe, hair and makeup, these things are so critical. Let's jump into this and here we go.
Introducing all new Squishmallows.
All right, so sorry, I'm gonna pause like crazy. One thing I wanna call out here, off this first 1 second here. The 1 second is so important in advertising. They tracked the Builder logo into 3D space. As the camera moves in, it scales up. This is one of those things where it's like, they didn't have to do that, but I think it goes the extra mile. This is very fast moving, and we jump right into this secondary shot that has these Builder pieces flying around our subject. I've speculated that these pieces were captured in studio, possibly on a green or blue screen, or even on a white, so they can easily key that out. I think that's what's happening here, and then those are just being added in.
All new Squishmallows building sets by Builder.
You catch that?
What's that?
There's a few different things going on here. We have her that was filmed on the day. We have these assets that were for sure filmed separately. And then there's a third thing happening, which is this little Squishmallow figure that surprisingly is being pushed into the shot and rotated seemingly by hand. It honestly looks like a wet hot dog on a stick. It's just kind of flopping around here. That was one of the things that I first saw that, gave me a little bit more confidence looking at this critically, because I was like, oh, this commercial as a whole is awesome. And I'm seeing things that they did that was like a save. There's definitely a lot of work going into that. And perhaps I'm wrong. I would love for the company behind this to comment. The thing that makes me think it's not 3D is the lack of consistency between the highlights and shadows on the pieces and on the subject. Because if you were gonna go the extra mile to make these in 3D, why not just add or recreate the lighting in 3D space so that it all matches? That's why, to me, these look practical. If we're looking at this, which is kind of our hero shot between the two kids, on the cut, this instantly transforms from the plushie to the captured assets. On the cut. If we're looking at both of these children here, we can easily deduct that this side of the frame is being captured differently than this one here. If we look at the background, you can see the background change ever so slightly right here, right when this object changes.
Yeah. Focus.
And it's so subtle, but we do see it. But when it's happening in full speed, I mean...
Build something with Builder and Squishmallows.
And they did a really good job of matching this girl's timing. Not so much with this kid, but I'll blame the kid. Because he's like eyes on the girl and she's acknowledging the explosion and he doesn't look up until later. But that's okay because your eyes are following this and then it comes back down to the girl.
Right.
And he kind of gets hidden.
Yeah, I think
by part.
they probably did that on purpose.
Probably.
Yeah.
One thing that caught my eye though, you're operating fast, you're editing fast, you don't have time to catch every single thing. And sometimes you catch it after you've already delivered it to the client. And I caught something here. A piece comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And this here, this line, I believe is the mask for this girl from the hero shot. And what's accidentally happened was they placed her over one of the pieces. And that is yet another reason why I believe these are all individual assets. I do love all of their different transitions and shots.
Yeah.
Like they have a good balance of like wides, mediums, and close-ups. This shot here, I think is a very cool and creative way to incorporate other products A lot of times we have to like show secondary products in a video, and they found a creative way to make those secondary products a transition. What I would have done differently here, I would have ended this video with the girl placing this on a display, maybe over here on the shelf or something, like somewhere like these are getting displayed, much in the way like a person would display their Lego or something like that. Then cut to a reverse shot of them looking at it in admiration. Then go into the end card, lose this animation. Personally, that would have been my creative approach there. Because I think this shot as a reverse, as opposed to them like towering over it, would have been a better shot. 2 reasons. One, you could have their eyes looking up. It's a little bit more of like a directorial thing as opposed to looking down. We're kind of losing their eyes.
Yeah.
And another thing is like in the way the product is positioned here, you're scaling this product down. They did a great job throughout the entire spot making this look big. And in this shot, the product looks small. And this is your last shot. This is your hero shot. Like if we look back here, we're seeing the product at scale. Look how much bigger this looks whenever it's on this lower level. That looks cool. This is a great way to capture this product. And then we go to the end shot here. We're losing some of the power of the product.
You gotta give props to the way they transitioned to the photo versions of these. They had to set these up right exactly like the still version.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the impressive things about this transition from the photo end card.
How do you do that?
When we've done these toy commercials in the past, we've always had somebody on set that was dedicated to the toys. And that was like their job, like making the toy look good, positioning the toy and like getting in the right spot so it was like looking its best. They definitely had someone like that on set.
There's a lot that's in this. I respect this.
Where do you think one begins even pitching something like this?
Well, I think that's the $1 million question, right? One of the hardest parts about what we do is pitching.
Yeah.
Even if we see this in our head, it's almost hard to describe. Like, look how long we've been talking about each shot.
Right.
This takes a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even know where to begin. I would love to more talk to the person who did this and be like, where did you begin?
Yeah, how much of this was in your pitch versus how much was developed later and how much was found in post?
Right.
It's interesting you say all that because like us as a creative team, we can kind of look at our next pitch like that. Whenever we're working on a concept, we can share instances of when we did something similar or when someone else did something similar. Hey, we're gonna do this thing from this video. We're gonna do this thing from this video and like bring it all together.
Yeah, it's like taking those pieces, those examples, like a template and making it into like a storyboard using examples. And this shows you how like you can pack in a lot of ideas into
a 30-second video.
30-second thing.
This month, May, is Mental Health Awareness Month, and if I could send you off with anything, it's this. We must remain diligent in our consumption of content. It's so incredibly easy to fall down this rabbit hole of comparison. That comparison is undoubtedly gonna lead to self-judgment and maybe even depression. And I think it's important for us as creators to look at other work out there, to be inspired, to reverse engineer it, to become better creators and better at our craft.
Easy. I've already looked into it for myself.
But it's important that we keep the right mind and the right lens when we're looking at that so that we can protect ourselves and protect our mental health. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. I'll be down there. Yeah.